The city is looking for feedback from Lloydminster residents when it comes to Lloydminster's public transportation needs. I'm joined today by Mayor Gerald Aalbers to talk a little bit more about the survey. But before we dive into that, Mr. Mayor, I understand the city is in the process of completing a transportation master plan. Can you talk a little bit about where the city is in that process?
There's two pieces to this. There is the transportation master plan that affects the entire transportation of the city, where it goes and into the future. And that's a document, a forward-looking document. We do water and wastewater plans. We do transportation and things like that every 5 years. In the case of what we're doing today now with the actual public transportation plan or review and looking at the needs, it's totally separate from the master plan as that. So the public transportation plan is really to engage the public, get a better understanding. We've done this in the past. We've looked at some of these and got some input from people, but we didn't come up with anything concrete. And we're continuously looking for something to try and add to what's existing in our community. And I've heard that from a lot of people. They're looking for a community-based solution to transportation in our city. Cold Lake has gone down the road of public transportation, and they're working through a program. So what we're trying to do is find a made in Lloydminster solution, working with people, helping them understand, because not everyone would reuse public transportation. We heard that clearly in the past, and I continue to go back to that. But in the same token, we know people have identified a need for public transportation. What is it that we're getting to? We don't have that nailed down. That's why we're doing what we're asking for survey people to take that survey, comment on it. We know we have different age demographics and things like that that will play into it, because we already have a seniors transportation program using the taxi cabs. We also work with Morty City Connects to serve some of the needs of residents in this city, but it's not all encompassing. And if we can get to that point, that's where we want to go.
And I know that this public transportation master plan, I believe, was something that council made sure was included in the last budget process. It was a priority that kind of came in during that time. But I was just wondering, I know you talked about made in Lloydminster solution, and there are different community partners when it comes to transportation, particularly for seniors, and the city has the seniors taxi program as well. And we're going through everything of hearing from people for their opinions. But when it comes to that made in Lloydminster solution, what do you think that will entail? Will it be kind of a hybrid model of like the city operating something, or maybe working with an outside group?
I think that's what we're looking for first, to get the input of people, what we need, because to speculate on what will work is kind of getting the cart before the horse. Really, we need to understand how many people would use it, what their expectations of time that they have, because to have a service run from 5 a.m. till midnight may not be a viable service that can be operated in Lloydminster. So how many people can we serve if we move it to 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning? I think that's what the study will help bring out, and ask those questions, and people will provide that input. I think what we're looking for, from my perspective as mayor and member of city council, is a cost-effective program that will meet a bulk of the needs of the city residents of Lloydminster. We won't be able to meet everybody's needs, nor do we have an unlimited checkbook that we could make that happen. So I think we're looking for that happy medium that will become a made in Lloydminster solution.
So when we're talking about that survey, it can be done online, and people are able to pick up a physical copy to complete at a number of different locations here in the city. But you're hoping to have, I'm assuming you're hoping to have a large amount of people here in the city come and complete that survey, and then those results will be kind of implemented into options that come before city council down the road.
We will see those results come back to city council, and they'll be part of the report, that master plan that will come through the Watt consulting group that's been contracted by the city, and they'll be able to tabulate those results, share them with us, and say, this is what we're seeing and hearing. And based on that, there'll be some recommendations, I'm sure, that come forward that city council and administration will have to look at.
So then when we're looking at next steps, once the survey is closed and you get the results, it's going to be kind of a long ways out, because then council will have to kind of decide what direction the city is going to go in, and then finances will come into play as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And from that perspective, I wish we had an instant solution to the problems we face each and every day, but don't, this will take some time because we want to do it right. And I think we want to make sure that people understand what is being asked, what's being presented, have that information and that dialogue in whatever form it may be, your voice, coffee with council, and just getting out and about with that information, because people will want to know how many surveys were completed based on the population. You try to put some perspective into it. How many people do they believe we can be served? They'll fill that out from their surveys and things like that. And then we get some good data to see. Because like I say, there's so many models out there that I couldn't name them all from what I've heard about and chatted with fellow mayors and councils from both Saskatchewan and Alberta. And I think that we believe we can find a solution that will hopefully meet the needs of the bulk of people in the city that are looking for public transportation.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor Aalbers, for sharing some time with us today. Hopefully we can get a lot of people out there to complete this survey, and then we'll see what happens in the months and weeks and years to come.
Well, absolutely. And I do, like you mentioned, there's various ways, and online is the easiest, and encourage people to take advantage of that. But if they're not able to get to a computer, or they rather do it in a hard copy, those are available at City Hall as an example, the public library, the operations center. So those are places that you can reach out and very easy to get to and get copies. And we just need them back by November 16th. That's the important date to try and get them completed so we can get work continuing to move forward.